All right, welcome back, everyone. Um, Finishing up pretty decent day out in the garage. So still on Christmas break for the rest of this week. So luckily I'm able to get started on some of this stuff and feel like I got something accomplished. So most of the time after I go back to work after Christmas break, I'm mad at myself for a couple of months because I didn't do anything productive, that is. Anyhow, so still on the first page, 6-2 of the RV-10 build manual, and it's definitely a slow process. I was expecting it to be a slow process and a lot of back and forth with taking things apart after you've assembled them the first time to clean up holes, do different things. But so yeah, it's it hits you that it's a lot of repetitive stuff and a lot of back and forth, but it's just part of the game. So here we go. I am now through step 4. I've completed step 4, and looks like moving on tomorrow, it'll be going into some of these larger, like 3/16 size holes in this spar doubler here. So had to put the spar doubler on the back here. It's a rather thicker piece of aluminum, and also small doubler up here at the top. So all of these, the top one is for one of the rudder hinges, and then I installed the middle and the bottom rudder hinge as well. Not quite sure why, but they use 2 different size drill bits for a lot of this stuff. They want you to go through 1/8 inch first and then final size them with the 40s later. When you're drilling with the 1/8 inch and you're trying to cleco everything, it's a little troublesome getting the clecos in sometimes and get them to hold properly. But once you final size them to the number 40, no big deal. So one of the things I did notice today was the spar doubler here. Like I said, it's a thicker piece of metal. It wasn't cut or punched, or however they did this one. I think it's laser cut, but didn't have all the smoothest of edges. So even in the inner cutout areas, I had to go back through and try to smooth up some of these edges and round the corners a little bit. The big thing with that one was that it was not flat whatsoever. It had a pretty serious bow to it. And talked to my buddy Bill, and he said, just try to straighten it out a little bit across your knee, across the edge of the workbench. Not obviously careful not to crease anything, but you can put a little bit of tension on them and try to spring them back to shape. But he also mentioned that if you are not able to spring it back into shape completely, that you wanted to place it, since this piece is not directional, it can go either way. He said be sure to lay it so that the bow is in the middle, so that as you're clecoing, it's pulling the middle down, and that apparently is the least stressful way to do it, as far as it kind of pulling back against the other part that's mating up against, as opposed to having it like a U and pulling the edges down. So I did that, and now we're clecoed together again. Looks like the next step, like I said, was moving on to some of these larger holes in here, and we're going to have to do a little bit of machine countersinking on the spar doubler. So we're going to end up utilizing some of the actual machine countersinks. So didn't really feel like getting into this today, but obviously I've got a couple of different options there. So have to figure out which bit I need. Maybe do a couple of test drills on some scrap metal just to get the depth set properly. So don't want to go in too deep on this part. So that will be what I'll start with tomorrow, fresh headed. And yeah, that's about it. So working on it during the day, so it's not quite as chilly out here. But and in the house for the rest of the evening. But yeah, that's it for today. And so far, nothing. I haven't come across anything that was too much trouble to figure out. So it's all pretty straightforward. I looked at Bill's build plans for the RV-4 that he built, and it's a whole nother ball game. No holes laid out for you. You have to drill every single hole. So, you know, I'm glad that, you know, the kits have progressed and this is what we're dealing with now. So, you know, otherwise, I don't know if I would be up for that challenge. But, anyways, so we'll be back at you tomorrow and see what kind of damage we can cause then. Y'all take it easy.